Well, hello everybody, and a very warm welcome. So as one day special closes, another one opens, and we have got a great one for you starting today. You've already been shopping ahead. We're talking 2 Red Robins Dreams Comes True collection. It is absolutely beautiful, captivating artwork here. Before I get into this, let's first introduce you to the lovely Mel. Hello.
Hello.
Mel, pleasure to be hanging out with
everybody.
you.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? And Stephanie's been a little bit under the weather this week, so she's sent me in. So she's stuck with me for the day, but I'm really pleased because I'm not pleased that she's been under the weather, but I'm really pleased that I get to bring you this collection because it's lovely and it's exactly what you expect from 2 Red Robins.
It is. Stephanie, I feel better, by the way. The whole team wanted to feel better. Now, can we just firstly feast our eyes on the saving? That is ridiculous. £91 saving.
Yep. So you're saving more than you're spending.
Wow.
Which is fabulous. I love it when I can come on air and say you're saving more than you're spending because it's just phenomenal value for money. And you're not seeing everything that's included either.
So that's our saving.
Yep.
Now, on top of the saving, we're going to get a Zoom workshop with Stephanie.
You are, absolutely. And that will be as long as it needs to be. So she'll go off on tangents and do all sorts of crazy crafting stuff, using all sorts of crazy crafting things.
Do we know when that's going to be? Or
I want to... It's going to be confirmed in an email, I believe, but I think it's somewhere around beginning of April, I think.
And if we can't make that date, we'll still be able to watch?
It will be on there. Yeah, you'll be able to watch it over and over and over again, which is great fun.
That's worth $19.99. I have to say, a Zoom work class with Stephanie at $19.99. That's very good, right?
Absolutely.
And on top of that, you're going to be getting downloads, download bundle, 30 images, and it's worth £30.
Yes, so what we do at 2 Red Robins is we bring you reflections, and reflections you can download. They'll be put into your account. So once you've bought them, within 24 hours, they'll be put into your account. You can download them. And they're what we call the original colourways. What we're doing with this free download is giving you the other colourways for your reflections, which is your artwork, and also some background papers that will be different to the ones that you're getting in the one-day special. So they're worth £30. We always give you the original colourway, and then we charge £1 for each download after that. So you're getting 30. So you've got £30 worth of value, plus your Zoom workshop at $19.99, which is incredible value for money when you think about what you're actually spending on 38 dies and 24 sheets of beautiful papers and vellums.
So what I really want to get across here, I mean, the value is exceptional. Now, you're saving £91, but on top of that, you're also saving a further $49.99. So here's the thing. You're actually, if you take off the £50, say, the cost of the workshop and the cost of the downloads, that leaves you with $39.90 for everything here. 38 dies in total, and your papers and your vellum. I know it says $89.88 on there, but you're going to enjoy the workshop, you're going to use the downloads, so think about that. If we take off the value of the workshop and download, $39.90 for everything that you are seeing here is just breathtakingly good value. And I'm not the only one who thinks so, because nearly 20% of the stock's gone. We are busy. And look at the flexi payments as well, $44.94. I think it's about time, Mel, we have a look at what we're getting.
I'm a little bit taken aback by that.
Literally, like 3 minutes into the show.
I know, that's crazy. Thank you, everybody. I know Stephanie's really sad that she can't be here, but she said she knows that I'll do a good job, so no pressure. So Yanis, you've got all the boards and the reflections behind you. So this is Dreams Come True, and it's named that because a lot of gardeners out there want to have their own allotment and their own shed and somewhere to go and escape. You know, we have our crafty rooms, don't we? And the men sometimes want to go and escape as well, although I can't imagine why. So we're bringing you these fabulous images, and the artwork that we bring you is exceptional quality. I mean, it really is stunningly beautiful. The way that they digitally colour it is exceptional. And the first one is your little wood store there, which I think is absolutely beautiful. But you could snip out those little apertures and put other things in. Maybe you want to make it into a little crafty storage. You could use the outside, the frame of that, cut away the little apertures and put like little teeny tiny bottles in, you know, filled with glitter, that kind of thing, or little photographs
like
of the family. Yeah, absolutely.
I love the cut work, Mel. Have you seen the intricate,
the detail is
cut
incredible.
work? look. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you can use the white cut, of course, if that's what you want to do and colour it in yourself. But we also give you that beautiful reflection artwork, and we also bring them in different sizes. And what that creates is depth and perspective and distance. And it creates almost like layering, but without adding depth to your card. It's very, very clever. And then we go on to the gardener's dream, which is the shed. And I think this is fabulous. Oh, yeah. And the whole ethos around Two Red Robins is that it started during the pandemic, where these two little red robins came to visit Stephanie in her garden. Oh. And they kept getting closer and closer and closer to the house. And she was convinced that they were coming every day just to see her, until Carl, her lovely husband, said, well, actually, I've been feeding them mealworms. So that might have been something to do with it.
Stephanie thought she was Snow White.
She did, absolutely she did. So she started this brand, and this collection is the furthest we've got away from nature. So there aren't a lot of birds or foxes or things like that in this one. This is about giving you the foundations, if you like, the garden shed, the wood store, the old deck chair, the bin that you burn your wood in, the logs, that kind of thing.
So there's a deck
because what
chair.
it means is that you can slot them into other collections. So if you've bought previous collections from Two Red Robins and Highlight Crafts, you can absolutely slot these in, and I think it's a really great collection to be able to do that, especially with the saving that you're getting and the free Zoom class, which will give you so much inspiration. And also with those free extra downloads, which is just great value for money.
Well, I'm having a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 die sets.
Yep.
And we're saying 39.
There's 38 dies in total.
Oh, 38 dies. So with 9 die sets, Lottie, help me out with the maths. If we were to work off our premise, so we're saying taking off the $49.99 for the workshop and for the downloadables worth £30, how much would each die set work out at?
Just over £1 a die it would be.
Okay, of course.
Per die.
Yeah, what do you think?
Go on,
all right, no, I meant the die sets. The die sets, not the actual dies. The actual die sets. Okay.
Well, you've got your paper pack to take off as well there as well.
All right, well, let's do that.
$17.99.
Well, how much is the paper pack? Let's do that. So.
Okay, that's making me feel a bit flushed.
So it works out $3.99 for the die sets and $3.99 for your paper pack. All right, look, stop. I'm just going to put these down for a second. Oh,
this is crazy bonkers.
I think someone's made a mistake. Look, let me just show you this. I mean, okay, I'm going to pick this up. Have a look here.
Yeah.
This is that beautiful little storage shed. Look at the intricacy of the cuts that you're going to be getting. That is $3.99 for all 3 dies there. You've got nested dies in the mix as well for that gorgeous shed. Look at that. I mean, it all goes down to the very smallest point as well. So all of those layers, $3.99. As we go through this die set here, again, $3.99.
That's a great die as well. Yeah. And you will also always get an edge die. So the detailed die will cut out of your cardstock by itself. But then we always give you like a matte layer die. So if you want to create your shaped cards, they're the dies that you could use for that. It really is. I say this every time and I'm sick of hearing myself say it, but it's the easiest crafting that you'll ever do. Not that you can't put your creativity into it, because you absolutely can, because you're telling your stories. But the fact that we're giving you this beautiful artwork and you can everything works together seamlessly. And what that means is when you go into your crafty room to escape the chaos that's going on in the world, you sit down and you're not having to think, well, where do I start? Because it's really easy to start. And that's the other reason why we also give you the artwork as well.
It just inspires you. I'm going to be quick here. I'm just going to go through all the dies that you're getting. So we've got a ladybird. But again, look at all of those beautiful dies, and you get your reflections artwork to bring them to life.
Absolutely. Now, sorry, Janice, to interrupt, but the great thing about the ladybirds is it's one die. So you don't have lots of little ones that you've got to tape into the right places. It's one die. It's what we call like a swift die. So you literally lay it over the artwork, run it through once, all the little ladybugs come out.
What I love about you guys, you're crafters. You
Absolutely,
know, because if these were individual dies, you would lose them. 100% you would lose them.
Absolutely.
Okay, so those are your ladybirds. Then we have, this is nice. So your little fire.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
We've called it the a blaze.
A blaze, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
nice.
And you get the lid on there as well, but you can snip away the flames and fill it with the wood logs if that's what you want to do. Cut it down slightly smaller, fill it with the wildflowers that we've brought you. You know, even cut off the top and have one of the little bird's nests with the robin nesting inside it. It's all about those elements that we're recycling and upcycling and having them in the garden shed. And Stephanie, when I asked her about the story, she said, you know, the animals have noticed and the birds have noticed that the humans are back. And they're not quite sure why they're back and how long they're going to be back for. So they have to now be a little bit more careful as to how close they get. So they wait for the humans to disappear, to go and have their lunch or go into the field or toddle down the lane or do some crafting, and then they go in and have a little look at what's going on because they haven't seen the humans for such a long time.
Well, a good way to entice the
Isn't that
animals
fabulous?
back. Yeah,
I
this
love
is nice.
this.
With the bird feeders.
Yeah,
and
on the front of the
sense
package.
scale as well, so
Yeah.
you've got close up and then you've got your distant shot.
On the packaging, it's quite deceiving, that one, because it just shows you the hanging one, the one with several on. It doesn't show you the big bird feeder.
Yeah,
and that big bird
nice.
feeder with some of the previous dyes, like the blue tip that we brought you, would be absolutely phenomenal. And during the demos that I've got for the one-day special, I'm going to bring in other dyes, so it'll give you some inspiration as to how you can mix and match them as well.
Oh, there were a couple more boards. Apologies. Just hold on a second. There were a couple more boards that I didn't show you. So we got the logs there as well. This is your fuel for the fire.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, I love
They
that.
look so realistic, don't they?
And maybe one of my favourites. I love them all, but look
Yeah,
at
the
this.
blossom's lovely, isn't it?
Blooming blossom. You can add that to anything. Just that alone onto a card. Sentiment done. And changing the tones as well. So if you wanted to colour that up, sort of cherry blossom.
Absolutely.
Stunning.
Well, we've got our fine liners, our flex fine liners on the show as well, so you can add a little bit of colouring with those. They're really, really good, and I want to show you those before we jump into demos with the dyes.
All 9 sets of dyes, 39 dyes in total. 39 dyes in total? 38 dyes in total. But that does include the Swift dyes, obviously, with all those multiple ladybirds in there as well. So it just cuts them all out in one. And you're getting the papers, and you're getting the vellum. You're getting your zoom. Let me just show you here, because these are really good, because what they do is set the tone.
Yeah, so what we do is we look at the artwork that we've created for our dyes and our reflections, and then we source artwork that matches, that complements it. Although all the artwork across all the collections mixes and matches just like the dyes do. And that one, when I looked at that, I thought, well, I'm not sure how I would use that. It's actually really cool because it's quite abstract and quite washy. It creates the background, but it doesn't overtake the images that you put on top of it. And we'll go through one or two of these with the viewfinders before we jump into a card, because they are just stunning.
It's
so
a
in
very
this
quick
kit,
win if you start building up. So that's your foundation, and you use the dyes, and we're going to be seeing these. Oh, that's stunning. You're going to be working with these shortly, but that is beautiful as an image.
It is stunning, and again, it makes it really easy to craft with, because if you started with a blank piece of white card and had to create the background before you put all your decor elements on, it would be far more difficult and you would need more experience. With this, it's done for you. So you get 8 different designs, you get 2 of each on a 200 GSM cardstock, and it almost has like this lovely soft sheen to it. It's beautiful. And then we also give you the same 8 designs, but on a 140 GSM vellum. So you can lay a vellum over a card or 2 vellums over the top of each other and get different looks. So really have a play around with that.
Tuscan feel to that.
It's stunning, isn't it? You can smell the blossom in the fields, can't you? And how lovely that we've got some with real like springtime imagery in there for you now.
Look
And
at
then
the
when you get
vellum.
these, I love this vellum. It's gorgeous.
Oh, that's nice.
It is just beautiful. Just laying them over the top of each other gives you a completely different look, and it's great fun because you try different combinations and get different looks all the time.
Oh, okay.
Aren't they gorgeous?
Like this. So you're getting your papers, you're getting your vellums, you're getting all the dyes in there as well. The workshop with Stephanie, the live Zoom workshop with Stephanie. If you can't make the date, don't worry, because you'll be able to revisit that and watch it as many times as you like. You're getting your downloads worth £30 sent to your account within 24 hours. So the workshop and the downloads alone worth £49.98. Just for those, which means you're paying £39.90 for the dyes and the papers, which actually, breaking that down into the elements, is £3.99 per die set, and for the papers and for the vellum. £3.99, come on, each. We've got 2 flex payments of £44.94. and the saving on there is £91. Now that saving is around for the one-day special. Tomorrow at 6, you'll see that saving, as if by magic, will disappear and the price will revert back to £180.88. And that's not including, you've got to think, that price doesn't include the workshop and the downloads in there as well. Oh, it does. I apologise, it does. But still, you're getting great value for money within this. The saving is incredible. We are a quarter past the hour and a quarter of the stock has gone. So, wow. I mean, we are busy.
I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah, just correct, I have to be clear, correct myself. So that 188.88 does include the workshop and the download. So apologies, that was my mistake. Okay, so that's our latest release. It is the one-day special. We're going to show you exactly what you are getting here. We're going to change the details because we have got some cardstock. Now, this is very special cardstock because it is. How should I describe this, Mela? One-off prints, because I know you will bring it back, but not in this colourway.
No, so the colourway is completely limited edition. When it's gone, it's gone. And what we like to do is bring you 100 sheets, so you get 5 different textures in there and 5 different colours. And then you get 20 of each, because there's nothing worse as a crafter than by getting 1 or 2, because you always have a favourite and you run out of that favourite really quickly. And we've put these colours together because they worked really well with the reflections. And when you're making shaped cards using your reflections, you could use this instead of just using black cardstock if you wanted to. So you're getting 100 sheets and you get beautiful pearlescent and textures. So let me go through this. Now this would be perfect for the 2 red robins because you've got that texture, it's outdoorsy, it's almost like hay bales, you know, so that's kind of straw look. But if you're a mixed media person, if you tore some of this and put it onto a canvas, coated it with your gesso and then rubbed gilding wax over the top, it would give you a completely different look because it's really textured. It feels like Hessian. It's lovely.
It's like it's woven.
It is. It's beautiful. And then we've got this gold shimmer. Now it's single-sided, but you've got this fabulous gold shimmer. It looks like you've gone over with your mica powders or created a fabulous pearlescent sheen to it. Die cuts beautifully, and again really good to use with your 2 red robins. We then have an ivory pearl, and again single-sided, but you get that really beautiful soft finish. If you're doing wedding invitations, this is going to be perfect because you're getting 20 sheets of each of these, remember, and these are all in a cardstock. Then you've got a paper in the copper, and this is lovely again with that sheen and shimmer on it, but a lighter weight. Brilliant if you want to line envelopes, things like that. And then finally we've got this black, and it's a really matte black. And when you feel it, it almost feels like a suedette. It has quite an unusual texture, but it's really matte. So if you want to put something that's pearlescent and shiny and shimmery with something that's matte to create a complete contrast of texture, then that works really well as well. But 100 sheets for that price, 10 pence a sheet for a pearlescent card, that is an absolute bargain. But when it's gone, it's gone. We'll bring a different colour combination back with different textures, but that colourway will have gone.
And if you did add it into your order, and it's a good point, Mel, where you're saying once it's gone, it's gone. If you add it into your order, it'll just be £5 because obviously you'll be able to spread the cost with the flexi payments.
Perfect.
The gold, look at this. I mean, that is special. It really is, and you've got such beautiful textures to play with. I love this. I've not seen this before. The kind of textured paper in there as well. And it's definitely, Mel's absolutely right when you're saying that using this with the release, perfect.
Absolutely, because you know you might have some card at home that's more expensive, and you don't want to use it just as a backing for your card at less than 10 pence a sheet. This is perfect. I mean, really, really good quality card, and it die cuts beautifully. It's also really good in your scan and cut. The texture one might be a little bit more difficult because it's not a complete flat back that will stick to your sticky mat. But for die cutting or for your mixed media, that's perfect. But the rest in your scan and cut will cut beautifully.
Excellent. Okay, so we've got some pens to show you as well. Now, these are really interesting pens because they give you that fine line detail, but you're telling me the way they work, because they've got that flex, and I'm stealing your word here, but that capillary action.
Yes.
So explain these for anyone who's not seen
So
them.
these, I am an absolute pen addict. I love pens. I have done since I was a little girl. My favourite day was the new day at school when you got your new pencil case with all your new pens and your pencils in.
And you put an ink cartridge into your
I loved it. Fountain pen. Absolutely. It was the best day. So what we've done is we've created these Flex Masters pens, and they are brilliant. They're not a fibre tip like you would expect from a normal fine liner. They're just super, 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 super fine, but you can get different line widths with the same pen. And I'm going to go right down to this piece of white card that's underneath me because I want to show you the nib and how it flexes. So if you look here, they flex. Can you see how the nib flexes like that? It bends slightly. These are perfect in your universal pen holder for your scan and cut, or they're just really good for your doodling. So you can go a fine line and you can get a little bit thicker as you go along. And then if you hold the pen quite flat, you can get even a thicker line as you go along. They are super quality. They're lovely for your doodling. So if you're into your doodling and you just like to Zen doodle. And sometimes when you get a pen that's not expensive, because these are really, really good quality pens, they're not as good quality. And what happens is the nibs start to splay and fray. You don't get that with these. They are absolutely super quality. And what I found with fine liners before, especially in the scan and cut, because the nib is going up and down like that and pressure's being put onto it, it can make the nib quite flat. With these, because they're a point nib, you just a really fine pressure and you will get absolutely fabulous results with them. And the capillary reaction means that as soon as you put the ink down, it then creates that reaction and it draws the ink back into that nib, and it means that it never goes blotchy or it doesn't drag. It's a super, super fine. So if you're into your journaling, these are really, really, really good pens. So and I don't say that lightly because I am absolutely a pen snob.
Mel, I want to just ask you about that because I haven't done a show with the scan and cut yet. I'm really looking forward to the Brothers scan and cut. We had the Brothers sewing machine and embroidery machine and I was impressed. So with that, it's got a universal holder where we can add these pens.
Yes, absolutely.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really clever. So when we launched the scan and cut, people were asking for different pens. And Brothers said we don't do pens, so they made a pen holder that you can drop any pen in up to, I think it's the width of like an extra fine Sharpie. And you now need to add some tape on, but that's okay because it gives something to grab to. But yeah, you can absolutely use these and they don't pill. So if you use a really good quality cardstock, something that you would stamp on or colour on, they don't pill, they don't create that drag on your paper and card, and they come in their own little storage box as well, which is
They're nice
cool.
pens, they're worth $19.99 and that's the kind of quality that you're getting with the pens. But here's the thing, we have got a bundle with these beautiful glitters. You're also getting the toolkit in here as well, which is your craft knife with your additional blades and your tweezers. So that as a bundle means that you're actually saving £10, which in effect means the pens are half price. So you're actually saving. So this is the bundle on this top level here. So, I mean, the pens, that's very good.
What are you doing to me today here, you guys? Honestly, everything's such a great... Stephanie's fault. Maybe that's why she's feeling a bit under the weather.
She just saw all the price on the show.
Absolutely. So we're very keen on tools at Highlight Crafts, but they have to be good tools, because the only thing that's really dangerous about a craft knife is if it's blunt, and if it's blunt, you're in trouble. So I'm just going to try and pull this out. There we go. And you've got a blade already in there. You unscrew this top bar and that will release the blade. You then get, it's ergonomic. Can you see it's quite a triangular design? So you've almost got these flat sides, so it's really nice when you hold that blade. It's not uncomfortable.
It's safe in the hand.
Absolutely. And this barrel just rests against the nook of your hand there. You then get 5 spare blades.
That's
you
good.
also get 2 embossing ball tools, a super, super fine one and then a slightly larger one. And then you also get a piercing tool that all go into the same handle.
So wait, we've got a piercing tool, we're getting an embossing tool, and we're getting blades. That's very good. So it's not just a craft knife, it's a multi-tool.
Absolutely. And then on top of that, we also give you some reverse tweezers. Now, they're not super fine pointed, but they're great because when you squeeze them, they open, which means that when you are then trying to pick up something, especially like flat back pearls, when you're placing them, you're not having to keep the pressure on your tweezers. I resisted using tweezers for years because I found it really difficult to hold things tight while I was using them, but then reverse tweezers changed all that, and these are really, really good for that. So if you're doing your decoupage layers, things like that, these tweezers are really great. And then it's just fabulous. quality tools at a really good price.
I mean, 24 pens.
Yeah.
You're also getting 9 beautiful glitters. The glitters are stunning. So these are your shimmer and sparkle glitters. So you're going to get all 9 of those. I like the pots as well because they've kind of got the, if you've ever had herbs, you know, herbs, you can do the little sprinkle,
Yeah.
then you've got the open bits,
Yes,
so you can pour more out. So you're getting those nice pots, and you're getting the multi-craft tools. So not only is it a craft knife, you're getting the embossing and pricking tool in there as well. All of that in one bundle, saving £10, £37.97. But again, if we do add it into our flexi basket with a one-day special, suddenly it becomes £18.99 today. Just going to have a look now with the one-day special. If you do have any questions for Mel, please get in touch. But Two Red Robins have done it again. It's such a beautiful release, Mel. Let's start having a play.
It's stunning, isn't it? So just in case you've never seen anything from Two Red Robins before, I just want to explain to you how the reflections work. So you will get a download into your account, and we put as many as we possibly can onto one sheet for you, still allowing the fact that you could then multi-cut if you want. So what I mean by that is you can take your die, you place it over the top and make sure you tape it in place, and then you run it through your die cutting machine. So then we've also got the stand one like that, again over the top so you can't see any artwork. You'll still see the Two Red Robins logo at the side, but you won't see any of the artwork unless it's a bleed like this, and a bleed is when we extend the ink so that we can't, you don't see any white. So you tape that in place, run it through your die cutting machine, and then you end up with a perfect coloured image. Because I know I love colouring, it's my passion. However, I know a lot of people don't like colouring. So we've done that for you as an option, which is why if you just cut them in white card, you could colour them in yourself if that's what you wanted to do. So let's have a look at some of these backgrounds, because Stephanie came up with this idea of viewfinders. And you can make your own, so just take an A4 sheet of card and you can use your basic dies, or we do sell these and they're in a 400 GSM cardstock, so they're nice and sturdy. And what we've done with the artwork is looked at artwork and selected it for different purposes. So if we start here, you've got your beautiful wildflowers at the bottom, you've then got your buildings in the mid, and then you've got in your background, you've got the mountains and the clouds. But if you move that up slightly to the top, you get a different image because you get more of the clouds. If you move it over here, you could have the buildings in the middle with the hills behind and the trees now in. Or you could move it up again slightly and have the buildings over here. Or you could get rid of the buildings completely and just have your wildflower. So when you get these papers home, sit there and have a play with something like this. Look how this changes from having all the colour at the front. If I push it up to the top, and just having a little bit of colour with the buildings. So we go from a very feminine card to quite a masculine card just by using a different area of that paper.
What, you've got the beautiful punch of colour coming through, or you can have the drama of the skyline.
Absolutely.
In the top,
it's really clever. But I'm a little bit of a devil because I use them for my card making as well. So absolutely buy the viewfinders from the show and use those, keep those safe because you've got 2 squares, 2 circles, 2 ovals, 2 rectangles in different sizes. Keep those nice and clean and safe for finding the place where you want to create your card, but then create them with your nesting dies as well, which is exactly what I've done here. So let's put just a really simple card together so you can see how the concept of Two Red Robins works. So I'm starting with just a white card blank here, and then I've taken one of the papers and I've just cut a section away like that, and I wanted this beautiful soft watercolour tree, and it reminds me of my dad, that because my dad used to be a really good watercolour artist, and every time I see something like that it just makes me smile because it reminds me of him. We'd quite often when I was little go out on a Saturday, or when my son was little, they'd take Matthew out for the day somewhere, Yorkshire Dales or somewhere like that, and my dad would take photographs on his camera, come back and then do a picture of it. So I have some fabulous artwork at home of just lovely scenes. It was really lovely. Pretty. So a little bit of glue on here, and I'm just going to position this into the centre.
Beautiful tree.
Like so. It's lovely, isn't it? So if you're not somebody that can paint, and I absolutely can't, I haven't got that talent, I didn't inherit that gene, but you've got the artwork that now you can use. So I've just created using the oval foundation dies that we sell, just this aperture here. And don't think that an aperture always has to be in the centre. It can be slightly over to one side. So what I did was I took a piece of card and I cut the oval in the middle of an A4 sheet. And that might seem a bit wasteful, but when I trim it down, I use that for other things, for stamping on for my sentiments, things like that. But what I did was I started with these die cuts. So when I get these dies, what I do is print off all the reflections, cut loads of them out and sit with them in front of me. So you've got like a pick and mix of all the different images, and then just start to build your image. So I knew that I wanted this side to be a little bit wider, because I wanted to use this image here. And look at all the different things that you've got in here. You've got little buckets hanging from the ladder with an old piece of drain pipe, and it's all getting a little bit overgrown with the moss and the foliage behind it. And you've got an old rope and an old hose pipe and 2 wooden planks and an old upside down pot. It's that level of detail that makes 2 Red Robins stand out from other brands, I think. And then we've got the wood store, and I can put that a little bit further back like that if I want to. So instantly we've got this in the midground, this is the background, and this is your foreground here. And then just have a play around with the different elements. Don't glue anything down until you're ready. But look, I can put the wooden can there, if you like, flamed there, behind there, and then you even get the lid. And you can smell the smoke coming off it, can't you? You can imagine how hot that metal's getting. And you've just got that little lid that can fall down, or it could go over here somewhere like that. So that's how I would build the beginning of it. So let's glue these in place so we can actually make some full cards for you, so you can see how I build it up. Now, when I'm putting my apertures down, I will only ever put glue around the outside edge. I'll never put it around the aperture because I might want to tuck something inside. So just think about that before you decide to put glue everywhere. Just think about where you might want to put things, because I've done it so often where I've stuck everything down and then thought, oh, that would have been really nice tucked in. So just create your composition first. And there's no right or wrong. It's what you like, okay? And people often say, well, how do you know when to stop? When you like it. That's the answer. When you're happy, then you stop, okay? Because it doesn't matter whether you like minimalistic designs, whether you like really detailed designs, whether you just like one thing on a card, whether you want loads on, whether you want to use it in your mixed media, on your canvases, whether you want to colour them in yourself, whatever you want to do. You know, you can even print these onto fabric. So think about that as well, because we're giving you a download that's printable of different backings. You could print some of those onto fabric. If your printer will take printable fabric, then you can absolutely do that, and then you can start to quilt with it. You know, it's entirely up to you using your appliques. So I'm going to add a little bit more depth in with the can on there, the little flamed. I'm going to pop that into there like that. And it's still grounded because the feet are still touching the ground underneath there. And then we'll think about where we want our little lid. I might just have that there, and I might add a little bit of dimension there. I'm just using a 3-dimensional glue gel for this. You could use foam, but what you get with foam is, because it's the same depth right the way along the strip or the foam pad, you can't get that nice curve with it. It's kind of, it comes up and it's almost like on a level rather than being able to really bend it. So that's why I tend to use a glue gel. Then we've got, now this is frayed from a previous collection. This is an old piece of rope, and it's just crying out to be hung over the top of that ladder. So this is why when we bring you collections, and we bring you collections, especially like Dreams Come True, we thought about previous collections. So, you know, if you can't stretch to the full bundle and you just want to buy individuals, you can do that as well. And don't ever worry about bringing extra bits off the side of the card as well. It just adds a little bit more interest to it. Then I've got some previous foliage here, because we've only got the blossom in the Dreams Come True. So I wanted to bring some green in. I wanted to bring the green from down here and bring it further up. And again, because I haven't stuck everything down completely, I can tuck that behind. And I don't think that everything, when you stick it down, has to be completely flat. It doesn't. You can literally just put a little bit of glue on the base of that sprig there and tuck it behind. So have a look on the website before you check your basket out and see if there's anything else that you're interested in that you might want to check out. I'm going to build this, bring this one over here, and I'm just going to pop this behind here like that. I'm actually going to snip that down a little bit like that. And Stephanie will go through all sorts of things like this with you in the class. She will literally probably sit at her desk with lots of die cuts and just play. And that's the great thing about having things like this and being able to join her on that Zoom class, or if you can't, you can watch it back out time and time and time again. So I'm just going to extend this little sprig off with a little bit of the extra green there. I'm going to pop a ladybug just on there like that, just in flight, so it fills that there. Then I'm going to bring in our fledglings. Now we brought you these. This is our Pip, Buddy and Scuttle. And I love the little names of these, and these are the robins. So they've realised that the humans are back out and about, and they need to go around all the friends that they've met on their journeys during our lockdown and see what's going on. What's going on? Why are the humans back out? And they don't get too close to the humans. They won't get too close. They just want to see what's going on. And I'm just going to pop Buddy in there. I'm going to actually wrap his little claw there into the ladder. And then I've got an extra little bit of foliage down here that I'm just going to literally tuck in there. So it's bringing the green down to the bottom here as well, like that. And then I've got my little ladybugs, and I love these because they had a little pop of red, a little pop of colour, and they just add a little bit more interest. So every time you look at a Two Red Robins card, you'll see something different, and I love that. It's really, really clever design. I'm going to put that one just flying in the middle there, and then the little one just down here can just be sat on top of, I'm going to put it down there by the rope, I think, like so. So we'll just pop that down there, and then that's our card done. So I'll turn this round to show you so you can see. It's lovely, but there's very, very little dimension on there, but look how we've created perspective. You've got, even by having that little tiny ladybug in the middle, it's further away because it's smaller. Then you've got the larger one coming forward, the three little robins. It's just lovely.
It's a beautiful inspiration, and it really showcases why I love Two Red Robins, because you give us so many design aspects to it. You create absolute wealth of design on your inside. I've got to show you, actually. I've got some finished examples here, and I think it's worth seeing these because I'm just going to pop them there. They are stunning. So let's take a look at this. And my question to you, when I start showing you these cards, it's a really simple question. Is this something that you could see yourself making? I mean, how beautiful is that on acetate? By the way, we did have some acetate yesterday, and it was very popular. So I think it was like 40 sheets of acetate. Yeah, very nice there. And then over here, we've got more. Just showing this. Look at that. We've got that wonderful bird in there, all of this images. Or how about here? So this just gives you an idea when you're using all those assets, building up your designs, coming through. And it is that combination. Oh, and also Mel made a really good point earlier on saying that this release works incredibly well with other dies and images we've had. So I remember this handsome fella. You get this beautiful fox.
Phoenix. Yeah, absolutely. And it's great that you know, we've brought a collection where the only creatures that we've brought you are the ladybirds. So you can bring back your other creatures, which is great because it enables you to dip in and out. And the whole point of Two Red Robins wasn't so that you had to buy every collection or that one collection just worked for one particular event or theme or whatever it was. It's about you dipping in and out of that journey and adding little bits and pieces here and there, and that's the great thing about it. And the artwork is just stunningly beautiful, and whether you use the backgrounds or whether you use just the reflections and make cards with that, it's entirely up to you. But it's just stunningly beautiful and lovely, really lovely to craft with.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to just give you a quick recap for anyone tuning in of our brand new one-day special from Two Red Robins. Value for money, it is off the charts. You are saving £91. So with the one-day special, the bundle that we're offering, not only do you get all 9 sets of these phenomenal dies, you're also going to get your papers and your vellum, and you're getting your downloads worth £30, and you're getting your workshop worth $19.99 with Stephanie on Zoom. The date's to be announced, and if you can't make it, don't worry, because you'll be able to tune in and watch that and continue watching it forever. Let me just go through all the different die sets that you are getting. I mean, look at this one. I know it's one of Mel's favourites. So you've got that beautiful ladder, that rustic ladder, and then all of those elements. And let me just turn that around. Come on, that's nice. That's your one man's treasure. Then over here, we've got that deck chair. Take a perch in there, and it's nice that we've got, and it's something that the two sizes afford you, is that sense of perspective as well. So that's cool. That's worth $9.99 there. Here we got our spotted. Now this is the one that Mel was saying, it's been busy individually. Mel was saying it's a swift die, because what happens, all those little elements are included on one die, so you're not going to lose them. So we're getting the ladybirds in there. Then we've got the fire, that's called a blaze.
It's lovely that, isn't it? Yeah. I like the idea of snipping into that and getting rid of the flames and having all your wildflowers, or maybe even, because when you cut the flames away, you've got a curve at the front, maybe putting the nest in there with one of the little robins or the little birds in the nest.
We've got our bird feeder. Now this is one where you're saying the bird feeder, you look at the packaging and think you're just getting that bird feeder. No, no, no. You're getting both, the focused view and then the more expansive die. Then we've got the logs in there as well. Fuel to the fire. Look at the texture on those logs. Over here we've got this beautiful blossoms. That's a nice one. That's $9.99 by itself. This is your Be Our Guest. $14.99 for this. And then we have, this has been busy individually as well. This is your Gardener's Dream nested shed in there as well. So those are all the dies. I just wanted to show those really quickly. Look, the way I see this, $89.88. You're paying for everything that you're getting here. Now, if you factor in, within that $89.88, the Zoom workshop alone is worth $19.99. You've also got the downloads worth $29.99, say £30. So that's $49.98 just there. And then you're getting all 9 die sets in total. So taking the price, if you were to figure it, if you were to look at it this way, and to take the price of the workshop and price of the downloads off the one-day special price, it works out $3.99 per set. $3.99 per die set, and also for the papers and vellum. So it's just another way to look at it. The money leaving your account and what you're actually getting for that $89.88 is incredible. You are saving £91, but only until tomorrow. So do take advantage. It is a brand new release. It's a busy release. As you look at the samples in front, they are breathtakingly good. They really are good when you think about these. So in my view, Mel, these are your showstoppers. They're your wow factors. As cards go, you make something like this. And also great, dare I say it, for masculine cards too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the whole thing, because you've got this beautiful artwork in the reflections. You don't need to sit there and colour. Yeah. And that's the wonderful thing about that. And you can make traditional cards like we made originally. What you can also do is make shaped cards with the dies themselves, which is super cool and super fun. And you know what, if you're somebody that makes and sells, this is absolutely perfect, because your store will stand out from everybody else's. Oh, yeah. You know, make and sell, teach with them, do all those amazing things that we know you love to do out there. But it's really creative when you sit down with just some die cuts and make shaped cards with it. That's one of Stephanie's favourite things to do. And it is really, really, really good fun. But maybe you're a scrapbooker. Maybe you're a scrapbooker and you have an allotment, or you know somebody that's a keen gardener, or you have a garden and you want to do a gardening journal and keep a log right the way through the year. This would be perfect, not just to decorate the front of the journal, but actually to keep, you know, to use them throughout the journal so it becomes a piece of art. I think that would just be a great fun thing to do.
Well, look, you're getting so many resources at your fingertips, and I have to applaud Two Red Robins because I think what really sets us apart, we've got the beautiful dies, but you're looking at the inspiration. I'm just going to pick up one at random, say here. Now, if I was to have to colour that, I would be daunted. But having the reflections artwork, and that's already automatically that's going to be in your account. It's a download. Within 24 hours, you'll have that to use. You just print it off and die cut it out. Suddenly, it makes you look like an absolute pro. You absolutely do not need to use this if you are good with your colours and you are a colourist. Obviously, then you can explore your own colour. It's nice that you got the additional downloads as well because they explore different colours, different themes, different background papers. Now, if you do want to go for the papers, they're at $14.99 at the bottom of your screens. A lot of viewers are getting extras and incorporating them into the one-day special, which means we spread the costs as well. The boards, when you just look at here, I won't go through them all, but you just see how many dies that you have within this release. I mean, that's just one of the die sets. But each of the die sets work well, and this is a set that you want to use in conjunction, all the dies together to really create something that is lavish and that stands out. I mean, beautiful artwork as well within the reflections. I'm just going to go through here, and you've got your deck chair in there as well. You've got the little ladybirds as part of those swift dies. You've got the blaze, the fire, so you can cut that out and put the nest in if you want. Then you have the beautiful bird feeder. So you look at it like that, you get to appreciate not only are you getting so many dies, but Two Red Robins distinguish themselves, Mel, in my view, by the little cut work as well, which is stunning. $44.94 is your price if you do want to get hold of this. 2 flexi payments. It's a great price for a great collection, and we are very, very busy. We are over a quarter of the stock gone. That's a quarter of the stock that's meant to last the full 24-hour period. Some other dies that you're adding into your bundle. Just taking a look here. We've got some towering mushrooms. Oh, yeah. It's all about the shrooms. You're saving £3 here. 021445, your item number there. I like those. We've also got Wilma and Margot. Oh, okay. Oh, I love them. I already love them. Wilma, oh, look at them. Wilma and Margot. Oh, I want to go and give them a hug. 993353, your item number. One more to show you. Where's the next one? Coming. This is your, oh, that's lovely. So this is your unfolded die. Beautiful little sprig. Now that's a good die actually, because you can mix that with any of your designs. 104527, your item number. We have got a cheeky fox in the mix as well. And it's a beautiful fox. So there we go. This is Phoenix the fox. Look at Phoenix. $8.99 is your price there. $8.99 your price. 970408, your item number. Mel, I think it's about time we have a bit more of a play. So
okay,
what should we do?
Let's do it. So I'm going to make one of those shaped cards that has become synonymous with Two Red Robins. So I've taken one of the size of the sheds, which is fabulous, and cut it out of black cardstock. And then I've taken the I can't remember what the name of the die is, but it's the one that's got all the little elements on the ladder and the drain pipe and all those kind of things.
I'll tell you.
And I've cut both of them out in black. I've made sure that they're lined up so that it's straight across the bottom here. So this is going to become the back of my card base. And then we've got, I've put a score line. One man's treasure, that's it. And then I've put a score line across about 1 centimetre, just over 1 centimetre down from the top, so that I can then just glue this onto here. So all I'm going to do is put some wet glue. You could use tape, use whatever glue you prefer, but a flat glue. I'm okay with tape, but I'm not very good at getting things straight first time. So I like to use a wet glue. You don't need a lot, just scratch it on. And then I'm going to position this over the top. And when you get this home, you'll see all the amazing colours in this artwork. It's like the whole roof is covered with like a moss. It's really, really clever. And I also like the fact that it's quite dark because it reflects the fact that, you know, the humans haven't been out very much and we've all been locked inside, and the animals have been coming out and enjoying their space again. And now they're starting to come back out. So
looks
now
like my student house.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then I'm just going to tuck this inside there like that. So I've snipped down there because I'm going to hang the rope over the top of the drain pipe as well. So all I've done is just use my scissors and snipped down there. And then I've also snipped around the pot. Okay. So don't think that you just have to always put something on top or something behind. You can interweave it if you like. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue at the top of the ladder because I continued the score line going across there, and I'm going to stick that onto there like that. And then I'm going to tuck the greenery inside like that, and then bring the pot over the top like that. So some of it's going in and some of it's going behind like that. And if you need to snip a little bit further down, you can do. So there, I need to just snip a little bit further down. If it's not sitting flat, just snip down a little bit further and then it can tuck behind properly. So we've now got the start of our card shape there. So we need to add some extra elements onto here now. So I'm going to then add the rope. This time we're going to slot it behind that drain pipe there. So let me just snip into that black card as well. Didn't think about that when I did it, did I? Snipped into the colour but not into the black. So that's going to go round there and just hang over the side like that. Okay, and I'm just going to tuck that in around those flowers so it hangs a little bit better like that. Now if you want to, you can just glue that bit down, but I quite like it just randomly there. Then I've got another piece for the roof. So if you wanted to decoupage the roof up, even just cutting it out and putting it on flat adds that extra layer. And I'm not going to stick it on with foam like that, so it's really wide, but I am going to stick it on top flat because just the white edge of the card makes it look like it's three-dimensional, because we're all conscious about postage, etc. So just adding that extra layer just makes a difference. Okay, lovely. So there you can just see there's an extra line going across there. Then I've got my little wood hut here, so I'm just going to now start to lay out where I want the rest of my elements here.
It shows how well all the dies do come together, and
absolutely.
You create something that's so rich in detail.
Yes, it's properly designed. Do you know what I mean? It's not just thrown together. We properly think about everything that we put together. So I'm now going to use the bottom of my card again. If you've got a glass mat, you can do that. And I'm just going to make sure that I want to have some of these rosehip berries peeping out from behind, like it's all overgrown in the back. So I'm just now going to put glue onto here so I can stick this to the back of my card. And I'm just making a mental note as to where the edge is going. So I keep it nice and level at the bottom like that. So that's going to stick to the back. And then we can also have another one. So if I turn this over now, I want it to be about there. I can now stick this, just putting a bit of glue. You'll take more time at home. Or you could snip those leaves off if you wanted to and use it for something else. That is a little bit wasteful, which isn't like me at all, because I have boxes and boxes and boxes of lots of little bits that I've snipped out. Then I thought we could have some logs at the bottom, so just grounding what we've put in here now. So let's have these logs backwards and forwards here, so we can have them facing in different directions like that. Another
great way to instantly add depth to that image.
Absolutely.
They look like just the angles, it looks like it's jumping out the page.
It's fabulous, isn't it? How you just bring it in. And this is the fun bit. This is, you know, get it home, do all the die cutting, get all your pieces cut out, then just have some fun and tell the story as you're making it. It's easier to craft because you're making up a story as you go along. And it's just so much fun, and get the children involved because they come up with some cracking little stories. You know, they just let their imagination run wild. You
described Two Red Robins, the ethos behind Two Red Robins, so beautifully just there. And it is about telling a story with the dies and the characters. Funny enough, it was fate that we were doing a show together today, because when I went to my car, I walked around my car and came face to face with a robin.
With a robin.
He didn't fly away. He looked at me. Have you ever walked into somebody in someone's room or office and they kind of look at you and are like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah, he kind of looked at me like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? It's like the humans. They got used to the humans not being here.
It was very ironic hearing you talk about the robins.
Absolutely.
I love robins as birds. They're known as gardeners' friends, aren't they?
And they're not timid either, are they? Once they get used to you and once they find a home, they stay there.
Yeah.
It's really lovely. So I'm just adding in some random pieces of foliage that we've had from other collections, and it might seem really strange that I've got a massive bird feeder in the front, but you know what, it works. And then when we bring the blue tit in, it adds height and depth, and this is the whole thing. Because I'm a I come from a scrapbook background. I like lots of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not a less is more kind of person. That doesn't work for me.
No.
It works for a lot of people and very nice too, but no, not for me. I'm all over the colour. I'm all over the design.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to make a card, just make a card. You know, make it really, really special.
Yeah.
You're giving somebody the most important thing, which is your time. So why not make it super special? And then we can have this little bird just landing on here. So the robins have discovered, and I would say it's probably Pip that's discovered that the humans are back, or it could be Buddy as well, because he's always sat on a high perch. So he's sat on a high perch, so let's pop him on the top of the ladder. He's discovered that the humans are out and about again, and now he needs to tell everybody.
Okay. He's telling the tits.
He's telling the blue tits that they're back. They're back. We need to be, you know, we need to make sure that we know, everybody knows that we're back. Then I'm going to pop little scuttle down at the bottom like this. And you're just creating a piece of art. And just to finish it off, we have this flat cap that we had. That we brought you in a previous collection. And then that will all stand because you created your card blank at the beginning. How lovely is that?
Look at, okay.
Isn't that just the cutest little thing ever?
That is a Two Red Robins inspiration if ever I saw one, and that's why we love Two Red Robins. Unfortunately, time's beaten us for this hour, but the good news is Mel's going to be back at 8 o'clock, so in an hour with Adam, we're going to have a whole hour of inspirations there. Do make sure to check out your baskets for the one-day specials. Value for money is off the charts. The artwork is absolutely beautiful. You're getting the dies, you're getting the papers, the vellum. You're also going to get the downloads, so you're getting not only going to get the reflections, which are already automatically downloaded into your account within 24 hours for all the dies on here, but then you're getting the additional expansion downloads worth £30. That's going to be in your account too, and you're going to get the Zoom workshop with Stephanie worth £19.99. So you get to craft with Stephanie, and think about this, because Stephanie, I mean, she is a celebrity in the world of craft, really.
She wouldn't like you saying that, but yes,
but she is. She's very modest, but genuinely she is. So having a Zoom workshop with Stephanie, I mean, even at £19.99, I think that's good value for money. But so you're getting that, and it's something, even if you can't make the date, you will have access to it, and you have access to it for life. So that's really exploring this whole collection, so you can get the most from the collection. The downloads. So having those downloads, whether it's reflections or the £30 downloads that you're getting on top of that, being able to use your dies and then create these most stunning inspirations. These are the cards you give to friends and families. It blows them away. Just to say, the way we were looking at it, with the value of the workshop, the value of the downloads, if you took it off the one-day special price, because you are getting everything, you're getting the dies, you're getting the workshop, you're getting the downloads, it works out for the dies £39.90, which means each die set £3.99. Technically, if you see it that way. Okay, so we have been very, very busy for our one-day special. Thank you so much for joining us. I really hope you've enjoyed it. A big thank you to you, Mel.
My
You're
pleasure.
A star.
Thank you.
Mel will be back at 8 o'clock with Adam, and she's going to have a lot of fun. I really hope